seats, which is a nice thing to have at a meeting. I've never actually been to a meeting where people have had to be standing. But welcome all. I'll pass you over to Otto.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to you all. My name is Owen Simmons. Before I open our meeting, I'd like to open with a cutting of prayer. I want to acknowledge our Hamilton Resident Race Committee Association and also the committee and Tony Dixon, he just spoke to you as our president, Tony Armstrong, vice president, Roger Stafford, and as our secretary. And to all of you, and the committee, but also to all of you for representing your community. Secondly, I'd like to welcome our Deputy Mayor, Angela Dewey, and Councillor Mark Donovan. Let us pray in Oitiari. Lord God Almighty, bless each and every one here today, Lord, and our families. Give us strength, love, and guidance each day. Lead us not into temptation and deliver us from evil. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. Greetings, ladies, and welcome to you all.
Turn it up a bit. Hearing aids up. Before we start, I have to go through a few security and safety things. First of all, obviously, it goes without saying these days, there's no smoking. The toilets, should you need them, outside that door, or this door, and round, and they're basically along the block of the building along here. And I'm sorry, I don't know the words to Jesus Loves Me, but you won't appreciate that joke until you've gone to the toilet. And sisters, no recordings of the meetings taking place. Will you turn your cell phones off so that we're not interrupted at any time? In case of emergency, the two exits are the one that most of you came in at the back there and assemble in the car park, or you can go out this door, out the back door, and again assemble at the far side of the car park. Okay, only remains for me now to introduce our MC for the evening, which is Tony Armstrong.
Excuse me, do we have permission for people to take photos if we all have to turn our phones off?
We can't, they can't.
What's wrong with that?
You're not.
What's wrong with
Right, let's get started on the meeting, shall we? Because that's what we're here for. This is a public place. You take a photo if you want to. Okay? So sit down, please. Thank you.
Why is someone taking photos of us and we haven't been advised this is happening?
Sit down, please. Sit down. Sit down, please. Sit down. Thank you very much. Right.
So
here's my background has been, I've had to sort of exclude everyone because I just imagine that there's just a few people in my lounge. So it's great to see so many people in my lounge. It's lucky my house is great. So I've done a lot of school teaching for 30 odd years, that's why I can stand up and talk to people, that's okay, that's quite fun. The scariest part was actually talking to adults. And so children are not so hard to talk to, so then I've done a little bit of, I've been a regional council for a little while, and I've got a farm and a few houses and stuff like that. So that just puts me here, I suppose. Right, so I've just got a couple of little stories for you. I'm going to pretend to be Selwyn Toogood, and I'm going to give out a bit of money. I don't know whether I'm going to give it to you, but we'll have to wait and see. And then there's a story about Dorothy. Are there anyone here called Dorothy tonight? No. Wait, whoa. He's the answer correct. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do, so this is about Dorothy, and I want you just to imagine, and this is what I've got to a place where I've just passed where all this storm has just come through onto me. So I'm standing in the middle of a whirlwind, but I'm not so bad about it now. You guys, because you're here, you're like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. Did you say that? And I think that's why you're here. And I want you to close your eyes, and I'm just going to read a list of all the things that actually troubled me. Right, ready to close your eyes. Right, pretend the wind is coming around, and there's a whole lot of placards. You haven't got your eyes closed. And the placards are spinning around, and you may add another couple at the end. Right, so here are the things that worry me, or did worry me, and I'm going to tell you how you blow these away at the end of the meeting. Right, so you've got to wait till the end of the meeting. Right, your eyes are closed. First placard that comes around is got climate change on it. It's a big worry. And now they're into net zero. Oh my God, and there's 15-minute cities and inflation. I'm like, how am I going to cope with my family? And there's councils, new demands on you. There's food security. They're blowing up places. I know about the farming is that they're doing a good job overseas. We've got inflation. We've got the lockdowns and all those things that worry us. There's the banking collapse. Would you keep your money in the bank, or what do you do with it all? And as a person, you're one of the persons now in your family that is concerned about your family. And not everyone in your family agrees with you. So you've got to deal with that as well. And that's that's the hard bit. And all of you guys are standing up for your family now, even though they may not agree with you. You're standing up for them, and you're here because you want to know what to do. But I'm going to tell you what to do at the end, and you'll be saved. Just like Dorothy. So we'll just do a couple of things on the Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Who in your mind are some of the witches? It's naughty ladies. Right, you ready? Go. Call out the witches. Who are they? This is how I get out of trouble, because I don't know. Right, thank you for that. Right, the next one. Just before, that was ready to illustrate that these things have happened before. So the 1912 has happened, and so on and so forth. So we're just going through what's happened time after time after time. And communities are coming together. They're doing that now, aren't they? So it's really pleased to see you guys here. We will have some further meetings, I can see, but the group in the Hamilton group will try and work out with the information that you give at the back as you go out there, what do you want to see come forward? What do you want to do? So I'll give you a few clues at the end. One of them might become to common law. But I'm not saying that. You'll figure it out at the end of the day. Because I'll give you the clues as to what to do. So I'll explain that in a minute. And the other story is about Selwyn Toogood. Now, and the reason I brought that up is that I would know that everyone here is quite cross about what's happening and how are they going to deal with it. And there's two things that Selwyn Toogood said when I was watching him in the embassy many years ago. He would say things like, what was one of his catchphrases? Can you give me one of his catchphrases? Money or the bag. Money or the bag. That's right. But the thing was, now I think they're taking our money and they're bagging us, right? What was the comment that he used to say each time someone would win a prize or something like that? Can you remember what he used to say? What did he say?
You're all dead, mate. That was 50 years ago.
I know, that's why I'm just gathering the audience. What did he say? Pardon? Righto, here we go. She's won the prize. I've got a bit of money to give away. Oh, it's going to be Christmas. We used to say buy hokey, so if you say buy hokey, it'll mean something like what? WTN stands for, because that's how cross someone are going to be. So if you're across, just say buy hokey, and I'll let you go for that. Righto, I've said my little bit, so that's my entertainment for the evening. So I'm going to introduce Angela, and she'll introduce herself, I guess, if you want to know who she is, and then we'll go through. Is that right, Angela? You happy with that? Yeah, okay, yes, exactly. Righto, come on then.
I'd like to stand behind the lens, so we're going to stand here. I'm about to talk a bit louder, is that better? Yes. And I think Selwyn Toogood's sidekick was Lorraine Downs, do you remember that? Yes. Yeah. Good evening everyone, I'm Angela O'Leary, I'm currently the Deputy Mayor of Hamilton. A few things about me. I've been a local body elected member for 16 years. I was supposedly young when I first started no, actually I won't tell you how old I was because you'll figure out how old I am now. I currently chair the Infrastructure and Transport Committee, and I guess, what do I do in my private life? I'm a competitive ballroom dancer, and that keeps me pretty fit and gets me off my chuck as opposed to sitting in the chamber, which we do an awful lot of sitting and an awful lot of reading. I'm also a pea vegetable gardener, and I guess my two highlights since I've been on council is the zoo master plan, and we've just opened the precinct for that, the new entry precinct. And I think a legacy was when I led the development of the policy that closed psychoactive substances stores in the city, and we led the country on that, and overnight we closed our 9 stores, and very quickly central government responded and closed the rest of the stores in New Zealand, so I was really pleased about that one. And I'm now going to introduce you to a newbie, almost a newbie, well you're kind of a newbie now, Councillor Mark Donovan.
Good evening everyone. I won't break out in the gambler, which I would normally do if I had the microphone in my hand, but I wouldn't want to put your ears to that. As Angela mentioned, I am a new councillor. I'm into my 2nd year. Some of you may know me through some of my more sweeter exploits, where I used to own a chocolate factory here in Hamilton called Donovan's Chocolates. So you may have actually tasted my name. Hopefully you have, and it was a good experience. I sit on the across council generally on economic development, deputy chair. I also chair the hearings and engagement committee. So often we will see members of the public come in and present on various different things. My private life, I like to surf, do a little bit of skateboarding. Yes, I'm one of those 52-year-old men who has found his inner child again. And I enjoy sports. I've got 2 young kids who have grown up here in Hamilton, and I'm enjoying my time so far. So I'm looking forward to talking to you all tonight, and thank you.
Right, so we're going to tag team a little bit. We have seen the flyer. Now, just a couple of things. It's important for us to manage expectations here. First of all, thank you all for coming out this evening. It's a huge crowd, and thank you so much to the Tony Dixon, the President of the Residents and Ratepayers Association, for inviting us. They invited us, this was their idea and their topic. I do want to put it out there now, and I will address the elephant in the room. I'm not an expert on the 20-minute city, neither is Mark. What we're going to talk, and we're also we're also, now, what would be really great would be is if we have a respectful debate. And I understand Samantha from Counterspin is here and we've had a great chat. She's obviously going to talk to you as well. If we can be respectful, that would be great. Otherwise, if not, then unfortunately Mark and I will leave. So, after a rhythm start, we're politicians, we're used to it. So we're only going to talk for 10 minutes and then we'll have 10 to 15 minutes for questions and then you'll have your next speaker, Samantha Hunt. So first of all, Mark is going to talk about what a 20-minute city is in a Hamilton context. So over to you, Mark.
20 minutes before we even got there.
Funny enough, it took me over 20 minutes to get here. Look, we're not building a 20-minute city, right? We've already got a 20-minute city. Hamilton is a 20-minute city. It's 20-minute city is jargon for what we call now building a local neighbourhood. It's the concept of having all of your amenity close by and having easy access to it. There are some ideas from the concept of local. Sorry?
Full surveillance.
We can answer questions at the end. I'll give you what my take or what we believe to be a 20-minute city. But if you could just bear with me. The fact is that half the residents of Hamilton already live within about a 10-minute bike ride of the CBD. There's another fact that 90% already live within a 20-minute bike ride of what we would call a 20-minute city. It's purely and simply a planning phrase. The concept we're trying to get across, or would like everyone to understand, is it's about living local. It's supporting your local dairies, your local restaurants, your cafes, your doctors, hairdressers, whatever that might look like.
They've all shut down.
That's misinformation for a start, and you know it. Trojan horse.
Look, I'll reiterate again, it's about living close to your amenity.
We don't believe you.
I appreciate what you're saying, but if we waste time on, so we'll have questions, and don't forget the questions have got to be with the how, which, where, what, just like in school. So if you want to at least understand a little bit about whatever you don't want to know, then just listen for a little bit, okay? Is that okay? Yeah, please. Three key things. Is living local is about supporting local. Heath Terrace, look at this for an example. You've got greengrocery, you've got a Foursquare, doctors, there's even the mechanics up there, right? It's about supporting the local guy, but making it easier to get to the local guy. Everyone should be able to move around in a safe environment. That means walking, riding your bike, riding your scooter, riding your skateboard if you want to, or driving your car if that's your choice. Yeah, I drive a ute. I like to drive around Hamilton City in my ute. I like to be able to get around. I don't want to be encumbered by various different things that are going to stop me. It's about living close to the things that we need. That's all it is. There's no underlying tone there that we're trying to get across. You take umbrage. Okay, so I might just ask a couple of questions. So, what's happened down right near the Founder Steelers? That they put a lot of those little bumps in the roads there, and I know that you guys know who Dorothy is, so you're that age, okay? Understanding the Wizard of Oz. It's pretty rough going over those bumps for people who are elderly in their cars, alright? So that's one concern. In some of the bigger cities in England, they're closing the roads off with planters and so on. Is that something that you understand? So that's going to slow things down quite measurably. So there's two questions there, and I have a house in Rimu Street. They put in those bumps about 20 odd years ago. The sand out of the Rimu Street is about 10 metres deep because I dug it down one day. The house has started to fall. Just the piles and everything because of the vibrations and stuff like that. There was much more to it than you think about. So those are a couple of points that you might talk about.
We'll leave questions till the end. Again, we want to follow the flyer because I know a lot of you have seen that. So then one of the next things on the flyer will be how will Hamiltonians be affected. So as Mark said, look, 20-minute city is just jargon, and we don't really do we're not doing it.
We don't want it.
In the Hamilton context, in the Hamilton City Council decision-making framework, it's about living locally, just like Mark said. Look, if you remember, and I remember growing up as a child, and I knew the local butcher, and I knew the person that owned the local pharmacy, and I knew all of those people because I lived in my local area. All of this is about building and having local amenities so that you don't always have to, and the word here is always, have to rely on your car. You can walk safely. You can't walk safely now in a lot of places around the city because the footpaths are old. We've got lots of old places in the city, so we need to widen it. We have more people that have disabilities. A quarter of our population lives with disabilities. We have older people living longer, which is a great thing, and they use mobility scooters. So we need to make sure that if you're going to walk somewhere, you can walk safely. If you're going to cycle somewhere, you can cycle safely. So you'll be affected by having those services more local. A great example is the Rototuna Library that we're building that's due to open very soon. Now that's not just going to be a library. The idea of having amenities close to your home is that at that library you'll be able to check a book out, you'll be able to pay your rates, you'll be able to see a GP, and you'll be able to have a meeting there because it's also going to be a local community hub. That's what we're talking about in terms of having amenities and things close to you. You could expect, if we look at how Hamiltonians will be affected, you could expect that it might be easier to catch a bus that will have better bus shelters with safer footpaths getting to them. That instead of a bus coming once an hour like it does in my area, it will come once every 10 minutes. That's about... Let's just go to questions. We'll do 10 minutes of questions and then we're done.
So my first question is, I think everyone at my age will need a car, okay? Sorry, no,
I read the flyer and you're speaking about other councils overseas.
That's not our flyer.
Okay, well whoever put it, okay, well I don't care about other councils overseas, nor do I care about this council here because you're not the territorial authority of this region. Well, the question is that you haven't consulted with the mana whenua of this area. If you wanted to put a smart city in Hamilton, there should have been a front page in the Waikato Times. This is a smart city. When they did the lockdown, you could have seen all the 5G gadgets on every pole around the city. And they just had to do the lockdown. And I have noticed that. And because I am the public representative of the multi-territorial authority and over Kirikiri-Roa, Ngāti Maanga and Ngāti Wairere here, I am going to serve a written execution and I'm going to serve one on the Hamilton City Council, and I'm going to serve one on the for all our people in this country. You know, it's time we got rid of all these
Right, thank you. That's over. Settle. No.
It lasted longer than I anticipated. You're having fun, aren't you? I honestly had them disappearing before 7.
Outside the playground, and they have to park beside the road here because there are no parking places, no to park off the road. Outside of schools, they have to park on the side of the road because there's nowhere else for them to park. What's the point? Well, it says down here
Smaller parking.
There should be a place for you to park off the street because they shouldn't be allowed to park on the side of the road.
So that's about the fact that there's not enough parking for people around the city already. I just don't understand why they want to take cars away.
We understand why they want to take cars away.
Oh, right. Okay. It's probably better than I understand with it so I can get it.
What they didn't talk about was what happens when we leave the city and the fines that come with it. That's what they didn't talk about. They're talking about the city, utopia, that everybody has to work and go outside that area. What are we going to do when I have to work in Warrensville, Tiara, and everything like that? Are they going to fine me every time I leave the city? That's not what they're talking about. And it's a time restriction. That's what it is. You've got England saying I've got cameras up there that are going to send you a fine in the mail. Because there's surveillance in you. That's not what they're talking about here. That's going to make utopia, but it's not. Everybody in here has to travel outside of Hamilton to work. And so that's just revenue collecting. They're just going to take coins from us. It's control.
We're down here next. Hey, I'm next. I'm next. Yeah, I'm next.
I was in England for 3 months last year, and I went to Oxford to have a look at what was going on. And the story there is that put this planters to stop people taking certain routes out of the town. And if they leave the town more than 100 times in a year, they get charged £12.50 each time. £12.50. $25. That's what they got planning for. And don't trust what they said because it's not true.
There's a last point here, and then we're going to go on to our new speaker. That's all right.
Okay. I had a question for the Deputy Mayor. And I had a question for the Deputy Mayor, and it was, I don't know if you know, but it was based on her interview with Waikato Herald, 24th of June 2020. Okay, so that's quite a while ago. And anyway, one quote from her interview, it says, concerning the 20-minute city, right, that's just been played down to us tonight. She said, if implemented, the 20-minute city concept would put Hamilton at the cutting edge of global research into holistic city planning Okay, that's one thing. So Hamilton will be used for a globalist, as a globalist example of holistic city planning. That's not the words. Then she said, providing a living laboratory for social improvement through integration of urban design, environmental sustainability and people-first infrastructure. So my question was going to be, why would Hamiltonians be put at the cutting edge of global research into holistic planning? Why do we need to be there? And the other thing is, why are we being used as a living laboratory for social improvement by the council? That was my question.
Hi everybody. Hey, I've got two things. The first thing I'd like to say is that by losing the councillors, by being rude and losing the councillors, they won't hear our concerns now. I know that the feeling is pretty high. So I'd like to ask a question. Andrew, I think, has offered to, I'd actually like to ask him a question. I know I'm as angry as everybody else, but let's just try and ask it. Andrew, really basic. What is the problem that the 20-minute city is supposed to solve? So, we've got a choice of maybe environmental issues. The figures don't stack up. In New Zealand, if we manage to go net zero by 2050, we will delay the temperature increase by 3 weeks. If we have all of that going past. If you're talking about safety on the streets, arguing the point for all the surveillance, then when was the last time you saw, where does the crime happen? And I would like to hear the stats on where that crime happens. I also note that when it comes to ram raids, which are terrible in Hamilton, we're not putting surveillance outside the ram raids, which is where we know they're going to happen. Yeah. So, Mark was here before. He said, he muttered under his breath that we're basically 20-minute city anyway. My other question is, why the hell are you spending taxpayers' money on this shit?
Thank you everyone for coming. Bloody good turnout. I came here to listen, and that's mainly what I will do. But I'm a straight talker. I will answer any question straight. And the reason for the 20-minute city is to stop you using your car.
Yes.
Why not use the you guys?
Why? I don't bloody know.
Cool, W-E-F. That's what it's all about. Okay, we're going to go on to the next speaker and give her a warm smile.
Okay. Hi, I'm Samantha, Sam. Lovely to meet you all. I will be answering it if I have any questions. Okay, so I'm just gonna. Okay. Alright, just let me know if you can't hear me. Okay. I'm Sam, Samantha. Thank you for having me. This is my old stomping ground. I used to live in Soleil. Caused a lot of trouble around these parts in my own years, and causing trouble in other parts. So, anyway, I really appreciated the honesty of all three councillors. I really appreciated that Angela, was it Angela? Sorry, I don't know if it was her or not. I thought that was the most profound part. She said, we don't really know much about free
Yeah.
We never represent the council and take your information, but we really don't know anything about it, and that's obvious. Obvious in their rhetoric that they have no idea. No idea. It is, you know, I feel your anger. I should be here, even if we're angry. I know what it's like to have angry people. Anyway, so, look, I've had a very hectic week. Watching social media is my what I'm talking about. But I put together a little presentation, but I haven't really had time to do a lot. But I did put out a documentary a while ago called Unmasking the Smart City Agenda. Let's practice memory because we've got some sort of shared, knowledge here. And I'm just going to say right off the bat, I don't know. I don't know more about this. We're all in this, aren't we? Together. We're all teaching each other, helping us each other, none of us were prepared for global genocide on the planet. Anyway, so can I put a little USB in this laptop?
Sure can.
Okay. Is there anyone who... Bob, thank you. Okay, I'm going to be honest, this could get a little messy because I've never done a presentation or a talk with slides. So please bear with me. But yeah, okay. The first thing that I wanted to sort of point out that Angela O'Leary, I had a little look on her LinkedIn page. She's done a lot of training with, what is it? I've got it in my notes. Dancing. No. Institute Directors of WSP. She's got quite a few courses written here on her LinkedIn. That's where she's done her learning. You only have to jump onto those companies' websites. 30 seconds, you'll see they're set in the climate line. I heard someone yell out, "You're lying." And sometimes I wonder, are they lying? Or do they really just not know? They've been taught this stuff, and they've swallowed it, and they believe it. And that's absolutely right. They have a responsibility to know that's their health right. Yeah. Anyway, I'll just start talking, shall I? We get Hey, one else sleep, by the way, so I'm a little bit delirious. I've just driven from honey. Okay, so, right. Okay, so if there's anyone in here that finds anything that I'm saying a little bit extreme or conspiratorial, just ask you to just open your mind, just listen, just hear me out. And at the end of it, you want to call me, conspiracy nut, that's fine. No offense. Okay, right, so I'm going to start talking about the justification. Good question someone asked before. What's the justification? Sorry, that was that lovely lady. The justification for needing to herd us into these 20-minute ghettos. And that's climate change. It used to be global warming, but that didn't quite work out, so climate change now. Okay. Now that article someone mentioned, that was great that you mentioned that. I think it was headed up Shovel Ready something, June 2020. Isn't that interesting? That they put out an article about intensive, what do you call it, sorry? Intensive, what's the word? Urban redevelopment, that's the word. We've just been told that a deadly pandemic is on us, and we're all going to be lucky to make it out alive. And that's the time we're going to talk about smart cities and this kind of level. Yeah, interesting, huh? Just like someone else pointed out how interesting it was that all those 5G towers were being installed during the level 4 lockdown. Yeah. Oh my God, did that not tell you something? Yeah, and then they're spreading rurally now as well. It's a little disturbing. Blanket coverage. Okay, so, and also that you mentioned the Living Lab thing, whoever that was. I thought that was really cool that you mentioned that. Because, I don't know if you saw in the documentary, when Lismore, New South Wales, was announced as the pioneering smart city region for Australia, it was called a Living Lab.
That's what
They use the same wording. I mean, have you noticed that? And it's a really good indicator of where the stuff is coming from. Like you said, World Economic Forum, World Bank, World Bank reading. I can't see it, sorry. Yeah, so anyway, what an interesting, okay, so Lismore was called a Living Lab, you know, and then what was it, a few months later, and they suffered the most devastating floods, a series of floods, that many independent media outlets in Australia proved that gave solid evidence for that they were geoengineered. I worked for Australian Free Independent Press at the time. There were some awful stories about elderly being left and having to crowdfund their helicopters, for goodness sake, because they'd been stuck in a flooded house and were up to here, disabled, elderly people. And the government just left them. So anyway, yeah. So they're a Living Lab. Campus gets clean. Where have we seen that before? Okay, yeah, so
managed retreat.
Yes, I'm getting to that. That's why I should have just done the presentation, because it would have been a lot more concise, sorry. But yeah, is that okay if I just keep working through it? So I really want the conversation, you know. We really have some great questions, but it's just some important points, okay? So yeah, right after, you know, we saw this catastrophe, this weather catastrophe, and as I did say in that documentary, I do believe that geoengineered weather catastrophes are being created to provide a clean slate and an excuse for smart city developments. And to initiate the World Bank and West Build Back Better plan. How convenient that was presented in 2018, right before COVID. Yeah, so it's all based on climate change, which, you know, of course, it's a lie. That's right. You know, we've seen all over the world, Build Back Better apparently doesn't actually extend to helping victims of these catastrophes. It simply cleans the canvas and provides an excuse to rebuild with smart city technologies integrated into the rebuild. Okay, now, in case you're thinking, you know, claims of geoengineering might be a little far-fetched. Nah, I think we're a bit away from here. Yeah, 2017 New Zealand Herald. And the Paris Accord. Yeah, so I'm not even going to go there, right? Because you guys already know. Excellent, I'll go to the next bit. Okay, so, yeah, I just wanted to point out one little thing, if you don't mind. The Laura Bassi is a ship, right, that's known widely as a cyclone ship, because cyclones and tornadoes and hurricanes seem to follow her wherever she goes. She's a bit like me. Yeah, her sister ship is the Orion, and, you know, it houses a world-class, state-of-the-art seismic generation facility on board. The Orions produce many videos where it demonstrates its ability to create what they undetectable series of rolling meteor tsunamis, they call them. You wouldn't know, basically this looks like sea comes into the land. Floods an area. Okay, as well as catastrophic violent earthquakes. Can do that, isn't it? No worries. Okay, both the Laura Bassi and the Orion were parked in Napier Waters on the night of Cyclone Gabrielle. Okay. Laura Bassi's from Italy, Orion's from Korea. That's a little bit unusual. Okay, strong directed ultra-low frequency beams were captured on Robert Deutsch's weather maps. They're undeniable. They were projected from a point just out at sea on that same night. In 2011, at the very same time, the earthquakes at Christchurch, our other pioneering smart city, the Laura Bassi, they are around, happen to be parked in Christchurch waters. And Build Back Better, you know, was heard all throughout Christchurch for the next few years. And now it's full of smart city ready lights. And, you know, yeah. So, you know, you can read into that what you like. But when you've got the world's most powerful seismic generator in your waters the night you have an earthquake. The day you have an earthquake like Christchurch. Yeah, then we have the Akela Explorer, which also houses a seismic generator that was in Kaikoura waters. Same day it had its earthquake. So, you know, not like these girls who just often stop by to say hi. It is unusual that they were there on those nights, you know. So, make of it whatever you want, but I find it very interesting. Okay, so I want to say that I do not believe that these weather catastrophes are anything to do with climate change. Otherwise, there would be evidence, real evidence.
1898.
Absolutely.
1898.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh gosh, I could go on that. Is there a picture of the turkey stuff? Don't worry. Sorry. They actually put devastation into the clouds. That was amazing. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we haven't seen any real evidence, you know, not the me one, not the kind of evidence, actual real evidence to establish, you know, that climate change is real. And actually we're experiencing a decline in average temperature through Penang. You know, I think you might have seen, you know, some graphs in that documentary, US climatological historical data that shows over a 10-year period, the average temperature has actually gone down slightly. So, yeah, you could fill rooms with the amount of evidence that you understand climate change. Okay, now, as I was saying, yeah, Angela O'Leary, she's received a lot of training from the Institute of Directors, WSP, okay, and that is our problem. Our councillors probably are wonderful people, but they really have been indoctrinated. Yep, and you know, I really feel like she was touching on, Rita was talking about this bit. We're going to have to learn how to talk because, man, it's like you just want to angry. How dare these people not know this stuff? How dare they impose this on us? We know what it's about. So we have to try to conversation. The dialogue with these people.
I've got to walk back home, mate.
Yeah.
I've got the kids, I've got my baby, I've got to get my baby.
Oh, okay, right, sorry. Okay, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that dramatic little clip that Rick put out right after Cyclone Gabrielle, where it talked about, I hate slides for this, but about how Hawke's Bay was having to manage retreat inland because of rising sea levels. Did you notice that? Yeah, I thought it was a cyclone. Did I get that wrong? Quite different to rising sea levels, but yeah, see, this is what they do, is they put out this baseless propaganda, and that's what people like Angela will be just soaking up on a daily basis. You know, and it establishes this lie of rising sea levels, you know, to initiate managed retreat. And apparently, we're doing it countrywide because we're terrified. This is literally coming in our room when we're, you know, the ocean's just, it's just class. But that's what they tell people, and they don't apparently need any evidence to back that up. Okay, but yeah, World Bank initiated this strategy outlined in their Build Back Better plan, this managed retreat strategy. And, you know, Build Back Better, climate change, you know, save the world from nasty, angry Mother Nature. It's going to be far more impactful than COVID ever was. And that's why I'm talking about the climate thing. Because it is at the crux of the smart city lie. And that's what it is. It's a fear mechanism, a lie. That's why you get, you know, people like Luxon, when Maureen Hughes spoke up, you know, he did a bit of a Brian Climate there. You know, we don't listen to evidence, not going to go there, we're not going to talk about that. You know, she did tell us the evidence, but evidence is not allowed. Science is what you are told it is. And in her case, by guys like Luxon, who have zero climate science qualifications, and even James Shaw is very limited in his climate science experience. You know, it's not about the facts, it's about what they tell you the facts are, and they will mock and scoff at you if you dare to look into anything for yourself. Let them. It's too important. It's too important. We have to look. But yeah, you must believe that Build Back Better and managed retreat and smart cities are about saving you from climate change, because if you didn't, you might start looking into what they're actually about, which is control. Tyrannical levels of technology-based control. Facial recognition cameras at every turn, reporting, controlling your every movement. The best way to look at what they're like, are likely to be like, sorry, to look at places where they are very established. You might have seen that in my documentary about China. Can't enter or exit any zone without your face being scanned. They're a bit further ahead than us. Yeah. Well, in China, they're so indoctrinated, they just have it. They don't even need it taken out of them. But yeah, places like Oxford, so I showed you my documentary in London, many other cities in the UK, where they're closing roads in favour of walking, just like they're doing Ward Street currently over here. Got to watch for the deliberate congesting of traffic. Through ridiculous amounts of road cones and unnecessary roadworks. Plants swimming, just shouldn't be plants. Gosh, I was just trying to... Anyway, all that's to the congestion. And the cry of something needs to be done about the congestion. Congestion that they cause. But people don't understand that they caused it. And what they might do about it right now, it might be quite nice. A little bit of a green area here and there. A bit of a cycle track where a road lane used to be. But the danger lies ahead. They're lulling you with glossy advertisements about a natural utopia called a smart city. False advertising. On steroids. Yeah. And it's actually interesting you mentioned that article, man down the back before, where they talked about, you mentioned it, about how we've been selected and chosen. And they used the words, because Hamilton is a young, vibrant, tech-savvy population. They're trying to win over them. They're trying to seduce you and trick you into, you're especially chosen. You're going to be on the world stage. Go you. No. It's a lie. Where was it? Okay, so smart city technology is not leaving us up. You already know that. They're sneaking, looking nice. Okay, but their future potential capacity, that's where the danger really comes in. Such as the smart city lights containing scalable equipment and platforms that are able to be remotely upgraded, that might not have a camera or might not be switched on right now, but it's able to be. That's why they have the smart city ready kit. That's why they put in, not because they're energy saving LED bulbs, because they're smart city ready and they're ready to accommodate these technologies where they can communicate with each other. Yes, connections on their houses. Absolutely. Of course it's all going to need 5G. What a coincidence back in at the right time. So anyway, it's as you probably saw in that documentary, they look alright at the moment, those poles, but they are dangerous.
Where can we see the documentary? How do we view that?
It comes to the media. If you just... We've got an ice cream box at the back with lots of little strips in it. We've cut up so to tell you exactly how to Google it and look up semantics documentary. It's all here. Please go to the back and take those with you, and then you'll know how to look at the documentary.
Excuse me. I hear what you're saying about your documentary. May I suggest that people that really want to watch that get the piece of paper and watch it? I'd like to get back to 20-minute cities. I'm standing at the back and there's an awful lot of unrest. People can't hear you. They come here with a lot of goodwill. People have come here to hear about the 20-minute city. And I feel that we've got to get back to that and not go down rabbit holes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to give the foundation of what this is based on. It's based on a lying narrative, and so that's what I was trying to establish. But I hear you.
Yeah, sure. Right. So let them watch the documentary. Look, we're losing people. People are walking out. There was tact back here, and people are walking out.
Okay.
And I think it's a shame. This is a tremendous opportunity for people to understand what is going on in our city. We are using planned congestion to get people on public transport. We are being slow. 20-minute city. We're not even. It's going to be. Cars are not going to be around in 20 minutes. Might be on bikes or walking, but it is getting increasingly difficult to drive around the city. I've got a mobility sticker. I won't be getting on a bike anytime soon, nor will I be on a bus. And these are the things that I think are really important about the changes that are happening in Hamilton.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I understand all of that. I understand it. But I think the people that have come here tonight, a lot of people have come here to talk about what's happening.
Yeah, okay. So, alright, just to talk about, let's talk about ULEZ. ULEZ, clean air zones, LTNs, low traffic neighbourhoods, okay? That's relevant for Hamilton. That's how it's happening here. By the way, all these other things that I mentioned are also going to be happening here. Okay? Your restriction of travel is actually going to... Anyway, ULEZ, they were told for a start, it was going to be a few little spots. Just a couple of corners here and there. Then it became a couple of streets. Then it was most of the CBD, then it was all of the CBD. Then it was to the boroughs. Then it was to the outer boroughs. That all happened in 2 years. And they said it wouldn't. And then it was discovered that Mayor Sadiq Khan had purchased these traffic filter cameras before the public consultation even happened. And my suspicion is that's probably the case here. This is decided. Okay, and it will definitely is talking about traffic restriction, but it's not just congestion. It's control. It's utter full control, and that does include weaponry and streetlights and stuff. I know it sounds like a rabbit hole, but it is all in these smart city ready lights. Okay, but as far as the congestion, it's not even just about not using. Well, it is about not using vehicles, but it's about not moving at all. In London, now by the end of 2023, okay, it is confirmed that by the end of 2023, digital ID is going to be rolled out in London, in England, UK. Okay, so they have to have a City Move account to move, to walk. It's not just about congestion, it is about control. And this money is going to be taken from their City Move account. It looks like it's going to be involuntary, it's going to be digital, CBDC, currency. So it is utter, it is control.
Someone got
Sorry, I can't.
I'm the social member of Population Life Sciences. This is something that I'm going to. I wrote this down this afternoon, and I put it here. In the realm of decision making, we are faced with complete web of trade-offs, where solutions are elusive. As economist Thomas Stowell astutely noted, there are no easy answers, rather a series of trade-offs to be navigated. However, our understanding of decision-making is further enriched when we consider the influence of behavioural economics and the role of heuristics. These take to shed light on the inherent biases, cognitive shortcuts, and irrational tendencies that shape our choices. By embracing a systemic and critical thinking approach, we can explore the intricate interplay between economic trade-offs, behavioural biases, and search for optimal outcomes. Acknowledging the limitations of our decision-making processes and embracing a holistic understanding of human behaviour, we pave the way for more nuanced, effective solutions in the face of complex challenges. What I'd like to put to you now is that, what's the solution? We hear a lot. I mean, we hear a lot of cool people, politicians and that, and I'm not saying against yourself, but we hear so much of what's going on. We hear so much of what's going on,
But where's the solution?
Yeah, good point. I was getting to that at the end.
And this is what we need to do more, is to try and work through solutions. There's always trade-offs, but where's the solutions? Yes, what you said is possibly irrelevant. Irrelevant. But the thing is here is that people want to be secure. People want to trust. Okay? You can't go to somebody and say, trust me and you'll be safe. No. Create a safe environment and the people will trust. So what is the solution to create a safe environment?
You wrap up, please?
Okay, yeah. Put a crime scene tape around Beehive. Arrest the people inside. Abolish that corporation. Establish a new government. Absolutely no globalist ties. They need to be cut. You cannot have one foot in a camp that wants to and is making great strides in legalising having sex with children. You can't have any foot in that camp. But how do you do that? I don't know. That's why we need to put our heads together. We need to figure out.
That was really fantastic. Ryan, have you got a couple of minutes to spare? Where is he? Tricky, isn't it? Would you like to comment on anything, Ryan?
Kia ora, can everyone hear me right at the back? Ryan Hamilton, City Councillor. Look, I sympathise with a lot of what has been said tonight regarding traffic. I'll keep my remit fairly narrow as a City Councillor. I was the only councillor to stand up against council's imposed mandates during the COVID period at the end of 2021. But something I can share with you that's probably practical and tangible. This government is pushing a very strong climate agenda, and this council's received around $40 million in what we nickname CERT funding, which is Climate Emergency Resilient Funding. And a lot of that is being used for traffic calming measures all around intersections and things like that in the name of safety. And it's a very hard argument politically when you're faced with injury or death or data. But what we don't have, I guess, and this is part of the frustration of the City Council, is it's free money given to us to spend, and that's when we make the most mistakes. It's when we make the most rushed decisions, and that's what happened with Innovating Streets, which is probably one of the most embarrassing things I've been involved with in the last 5 years, where they decorated Bryce Street and Ward Street and put planters over it, and it was basically a vomit of paint. But that's the trouble when we get free money, we rush to spend it. But I guess my challenge to you've come out tonight because you're passionate and you've rallied around an issue. But all these things get put forward in committees and agendas, and there's an opportunity for public forum. And if we had 10, 20, 30, 40 people turning up and speaking and taking 3 minutes to talk about it, that's a significant amount of influence when you've got 15 people around the chamber. So I really encourage you to engage. Andrew stood on the ratepayers ticket and got in. But there's 15 people, so you always need a majority of 8. So in terms of practical, tangible examples, you've got the manpower. I'd just encourage you to channel it.
Question here.
Yes.
Who do you work for?
Who? Me?
No, the councillor.
Ah.
Who do you work for? Not a trick question.
You work for us.
Who do you work for, please?
Yeah, I work for you.
Thank you.
So I came here to listen, and I want to listen to you. Who here wants more speed bumps? Who here, we're a democracy. Who here would vote for 20-minute cities like Oxford? Right. I'll just give one example of the sort of thing that is going on in council that Ryan Hamilton and myself did vote against. In-lane bus stops. So in order to stop traffic from and get you choosing to use buses, the buses are going to be used to stop you driving. So the bus stops are being introduced to be in the lane of traffic. The bus will just stop there so that you cannot pass the bus and get on your way. That's the sort of thing that is going on. It comes up through the staff. So there is something going on inside council that I don't agree with. Ryan, myself and a few others are pushing back. We are losing.
The council should ask us whether we want these bloody...
Absolutely. Where's the consultation on that? Yeah. Yeah, good point. Good point. I might let Tony answer that one.
I'm glad I didn't have to say it, but I've stopped paying my rates. And I'm up to my third letter. So you've got to write 3 letters. So here's, someone's asked, what do you do? Right? What do I do? So this is probably what I am all about. This is all about the money. It's all about your money. They're taking your money away from you. That's why they're going to charge $12, whatever it is, in London. They want to take it away from you. Right. So you have to be, so this is what I tell myself, right? You have to be your own Federal Reserve. And what does that mean? So I'm just going to leave those questions for you. If you know what your own, who knows what the own Federal Reserve is? Do you know what I'm talking about? You've got to be responsible for every goddamn thing in your life. Right? That's what that's about. Right, number 1. Are you a person or a people? Say it louder. Why are you a people? You have to decide whether you're a person, which is part of a corporation, or you've got to decide that you are a person, an individual. Well, no, that's the wrong word. You are a people. Right? You're a living person. So, what did I say? Did I get it wrong? People, you're a people. Okay, got it right. Right, number 3. I'll just do one thing there. Right. Why shouldn't you pay your council rates? Because everything is a contract. You had a marriage contract. Everything is a contract. You had a contract with coming to town on the left-hand side of the road. That's a contract that you have. That's your social contract. Everything that you pay, or your Genesis bill and everything, is a contract. You have agreed to it. Where is the contract that you have with the council? Have you seen one? No. They have not issued you a contract. Is there an invoice? What does invoice mean? That's invoice. Did they come in? Did you have an agreement? I'm wrapping up. Yeah, it won't be long. So they have to provide an invoice. An invoice is a living thing, not a dead thing. Number 4, don't get even, research. Don't get even, research. Wow, it should be, don't get mad, get even, research. Every night I put in a couple of hours of understanding what the hell's going on. You have to do that research yourself. That's why you're here. So I'm giving you what you've got to take home and do. You've got to go home and look at these cities and see what you think about them. You already know, but you've still got to do a little bit more about it. Number 5, I'm nearly up there. We're dealing with the corporations. Don't forget that they cannot deal with a living man. So, sorry. You're a woman, sorry. In this day and age, my God. So you don't have to deal to them because they're dead. They're a corp is dead. Corporation, that's a dead thing. What's the Asian mean? A dead man talking. A corporation is a dead man talking. Okay, I am wrapping it up. But I'm taking home, this is a take-home message. Okay, and I'm on the last one, let's have a look. 7, okay. I'm not a religious person, but I think everyone needs to have another. I was having to think about the Ten Commandments just the other day, and I wondered what the hell the first one was all about. I could understand all the rest, all about theft. Murder is theft of your life, theft of money, theft of this, theft of, all of them run out in theft. What is number one about? Number one is about the precedent. The precedent means the first thing that happens. That's the first law that you abide by. Everything else is underneath that. That is the very beginning of the law, in a sense. Natural law, it doesn't really matter. And then it keeps going right through. So everything comes back to the Ten Commandments, if you wish to go that far. Alright, or 1066, who cares, whatever it is, you know, yeah? The first one is you've got to have a start, okay? It's the start. It's the beginning. Moses says this is the beginning, alright? So that was the first law, so that's what it was. Anyway, that's all good. Right, we're going to wrap it up in a second. Oh, yes. Sorry.
God, the Lord your heart is mind and strength. That's the first commandment.
I'm worried about the religion. I'm not worrying about the religious aspect of it.
Why did you bring it up? Just one question for the two councillors, please. Who came up with the 20-minute concept in the council? Because if you guys didn't, it came from somewhere else. So please tell us.
Agenda 2030.
Came from above. So what I would, if I got Russ to say this, because this is what Russ would say, if your grandmother cannot get to the hospital on time and passes on, who is going to be responsible for that death, Russ? The council. So what you have done, you've served the council, but this could be I won't say no more. I'll leave it in your mind. Right. Okay, right we go.
I've got one more question for our councillors.
So in answer to that question about where did the 20-minute city agenda come from within the council, it came from the staff.
If it came from the staff, why is the same thing happening all over the world?
Yes, that's a very good point about there is something going on where there is some sort of agenda and these groups of people are connected. Yeah.
I've got a friend that gave me a piece of paper before. I've not got my glasses on. I'm just going to relate it. If anyone wants to know about it, we can give it to you later. He attended a meeting at Novotel Hotel in 2002 with Margaret Evans. He thought that it was an open day, but he attended a day too late. And when he got there, she asked him what he was there for, and he said, I've come to the open day. I'm sorry, that was yesterday. She then let him in, and he sat through a whole week of meetings, and they were discussing the United Nations and how they were implementing the things that we're talking about today. And also, I believe it's pronounced ICLEI, and how they were doing it. So United Nations through government, and then ICLEI through the community organisations, and that was how they were going to get it all done to the people. So I'm sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. If one of you can have a quick look and maybe scan through it and read it and discuss it after we've had some more questions over here, I'd be really grateful.
So I have a question about our emergency services. How they are going to get through bollards streets without narrow streets? And over in Britain it's like a pig's breakfast. They've got cut off streets, fires, the fire engines can't get through, ambulances can't get through.
Notice the amount of ambulances on the streets lately?
So I've got a question for you here. And I've also got an instruction for her not to even think of walking on the street. Yep. I'm just going to make a comment. No more shut.
part? What's the vagina part? I had 3 years in my home where I couldn't leave because of an injury, because it was too painful to drive on the roads, and that's 4 years ago. And now we've been told that ambulances, people screaming all the way to the hospital, and now you've got a shutter bars.
Right, we'll just have a, thank you, we'll just have a couple more. Thanks, we'll just have a couple more questions from down here because they haven't had a chance, so go.
Hello, hi. Just a question for the councilman. I'm just wondering how much consultation have you guys undertaken with private business owners? Because when this initiative actually does happen, what guarantee do we have that those business owners that within our 20-minute radius have to stay in those areas? Because if they're not getting the money to keep going, they're going to shut down. So I'd like to know what consultation, if anything, you've done with local business owners.
That's a brilliant question, thank you. I'm a courier driver. The other day I was driving around the street and I happened to notice a Suzuki Swift, a little black Suzuki Swift in front of me. And the registration number caught my eye because it said Foxtrot, Foxtrot as an FF, and then it had 666. Now, this was a personalised plate, and at the bottom of the FF666, it says Hamilton City Council, New Zealand. And I'm like, how does that happen? So I've had it investigated. It is actually registered to the council. And I want to know what the hell the council are doing spending money on personalised plates representing the flippin' devil.
Michelle, previous question first. I'm just question, but I think we should be civil enough to give them the opportunity to get an answer.
I can ask about the personalised plate. I don't know about that one, so I have to get back to you on that one, genuinely. But in terms of the First Lady's question around consultation, look, I've challenged some of that consultation that happens around, for example, Grey Street, Garama Street, and all that was being done. They sort of knock on the 10 businesses, but the trouble is it doesn't just affect those 10 businesses, it affects the ones up the road and down the road, and you all drive through it, so that consultation has to get better. I guess is the first part of the question.
Right, I'm Michelle Rhodes here, part of the Hamilton Residents and Ratepayers Committee. Just want to tell everybody, if you want to email us, our email is hamiltonratepayers@gmail.com. So just write that down, we just neglected to put that on any of the literature. I wanted to also convey a little story. Some of you may know a fellow called David Icke, and he says to, he's been researching for 30 plus years, and he says in a lot of his commentary, where we have to look is to China. If you want to know where we're going, to look to China. Now, I've just got a little story here about a recent visit. I'll just relay what was said to me. So a recent traveller conveyed their story of a visit made 5 or 6 years ago to the Guangzhou province, so that's the Shanghai area, if you look on the map, where they saw people paying online via WeChat, so that's via your cell phone, through cash, though cash was still in use. So currently, after a short visit, it is very different. Everything is via WeChat. Taxi rides, buying anything from vending machines, restaurants, watching movies, and even buying juice from a store. With the use of digital currency, the people are complacent and not worried about it at all. The older generation who have difficulty with this technology are able to use cash to pay bills, etc. However, once they pass on, this will no doubt disappear into history. The currency will be totally controlled. A number of purchases were made online and sent to a depot for pickup. Our traveller was surprised to find all packages were labelled with what was contained within. There was no privacy. There are on main roads 5 or 6 surveillance cameras overhead on a bar every 100 to 150 metres apart, which flash as every vehicle goes by. On the motorways there are the same, but every 300 to 400 metres apart. Airports, when entering the country, require you to use the WeChat, where one must have a health status scan code to declare a negative COVID test taken within 12 hours. At the customs checkpoint, your temperature is also taken, and I think they're not bothered on your way out. But anyway, so that's just a little glimpse into what we could be in for if we don't stand up.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, Kia ora, I don't have a question. I've lived in the UK my whole life. I'm 43. I came here in 2019. Why? Because I was pushed out of my own country. I couldn't survive to live in my own country. And if you don't stand up now, everyone, and take back control of your own country, these type of people will take it from under you. I've lived there my whole life, and I was pushed out because I could London, and now I've just become a resident. Thank fuck. Okay. And I'm pushed out because I couldn't afford to survive. In London, there's so much traffic. There's buses, there's traffic all behind you. You have to wait till the buses move. Whatever they're trying to say to you is bullshit. If you go onto London Live, which is the most realest shit out there at the moment, talking about David Icke, London Live on YouTube, he will tell you, Brian Rose, exactly what is going on in this world. It's not conspiracy, it's facts. Once you know their mission and you see the journey, you start to understand it. Take back control now while you can. Personally, if it was me, I'd start up little communities in our own places where we could all be a part of what our power is. Don't let them take control, because they will.
Can I just ask you, media representing up here, these gentlemen are representing the council up here, what would be the best way to sort this out? Because we've clearly had enough and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because every single person here is going to tell everyone else about it. Yeah. Hamilton is prepared to take over the council if you guys don't sort it out. Yeah.
So the most important thing is voting.
Go to council meeting!
We had a 30% turnout for the last election, and we are outnumbered. If we can get the numbers onto council, then we have a chance of changing things. That's what we can do.
We've got a speed consultation survey coming out now. A speed consultation survey where they're going to look at slowing down some of the roads to 30 k's, 40 k's, 50 k's. That's going out now. You've got the opportunity to come and talk to us and submit on that and engage in the process. And I bet if you did, you're going to start to influence the outcomes.
And Ryan, can you say how you do that? Like when are these public meetings and stuff? Sorry, I don't know how that works.
Oh, sorry. Hi. Yeah. Can I just? I might be naive because I've never been to a council meeting before. But can you explain how that actually works and how you mentioned before, like 15 or so people go to a meeting and speak their 3 minutes? Can you explain a bit more about how we know when that is and where we go and whatnot, please?
I'll probably go through your organisation, for example, tonight, Citizens and Ratepayers or whoever. Look for those engagement opportunities and then they can disperse that information to you. But at every council meeting there's an opportunity to speak in public forum. As an individual you get 3 minutes and as an organisation you get 5 minutes. But if you can imagine you've got a chamber with people speaking and you've got 20 or 30 people taking 3 minutes each, it can change the atmosphere in the chamber quite quickly. It's a lot more significant when you're face to face than when you send in an email or a written submission. And I'm telling you from experience.
Are they all open meetings? When are they?
Are you all outside, Ryan?
the girl from London who said about forming groups, and more groups you form, even just little groups, and sort of using the group to get a bit organised so that you all don't have to go along to every bloody council meeting and waste all your fuel time. Just to get these groups, so one person comes along and speaks, then if we get enough of that, we might be able to influence some of the other councillors. Tony here has come along to council meetings which are held once a month, and I'll let Tony tell you about how he got put into that.
I think you make a submission on the website. Submission, I hate that word, because that means you. And then you can tick the box that says, I want to speak at the meeting. It's quite an event really for people who are not used to going out and speaking in public. And sometimes, admittedly, when I go to the council meetings, I've said this before, it's like a giraffe's fart. It's way above their heads. But having said that, we've got two people here tonight who understand what you're trying to say. Sorry, there's a question.
Just like to address the two councillors. I'd like to thank you for staying, first of all. I'm a ratepayer. My name is Tony Kay. I would like you to pass the message on to the council for me. I would like them to count up the number of members there are on council. I would like them to take a look at the number of ratepayers there are in Hamilton. I'd like you to point out to them, we the ratepayers provide the money. The council is there to work for us. They are not there to work for Jacinda Ardern or Hipkins or National, whoever. Hamilton City Council is for us, the ratepayers. They should be doing what we want, not what some outside force wants.
We're just about, I've got a young prospect going to come and have this is his big day. So this could be wrap it up for you. So don't forget to give him a big cheer. How brave is he?
Today's life, what is going to be our future?
Right, yes. So what he says is, if this is going to be 20-minute cities now, what is it for his future? Is that right? Roundabout? Give him a clap. In 3 months. Righto. We'll get Tony to wrap it up a bit, so thanks very much. We're going to have other further meetings. Unless Tony says we'll have more questions, then it's going to be up to Tony now. What do you want to do, Tony?
We're wrapping up now, but was it a question?
No, it was a statement.
A statement?
My experience at the last council meeting.
Yep.
Okay, we went to a council meeting to support Murray Shaw in the bird park. Turn it up a bit. Okay, can you hear me? Murray and Margaret spoke for 3 minutes each. The people on the council just didn't give a shit.
One more question there?
Excuse me. Do we further represent to the Liberal democracy or not? Because it feels like 80% of the country could be against this. No one could want this, and it would still happen. So us being here today mean anything. You say that we should vote, but it feels like they'll make no change at all. It feels like the only option left for us is to peaceably overthrow you.
Okay, if you if you want to make a comment, can you ask a question rather than a statement?
I just want to make a comment. At the moment, they're taking submissions about Hayes Park, making it a safe zone, and also Rototuna, where the buses now coming into the mall, so to speak, they're going to put the buses on the road, both sides of Horsham Downs Road, and that needs to be, we need to stop that. We need to do something about it. We can't just talk about it. We have to do something. So go on to the Hamilton City Council and let them know. Let's do this.
I have a question for the councillors, and this is related to the Hamilton City Climate Change Response Plan. And why I'm asking this question is I want to know what's actually driving the concept of implementing a 20-minute city in Hamilton. You know, the council's emissions target is a reduction of 30% by 2030 and 82% by 2050. And this is all in line with the Climate Change Response Zero Carbon Amendment Bill that central government has put forward. So my question to the councillors is the driver for the 20-minute city concept the council's requirement to comply with central government emissions targets?
Right. So the detail of that, I don't actually know because I try and avoid getting stuck with all the crazy stuff that goes on in council. Climate change is being used as an excuse for the control and to be anti-car, along with safety. Ryan, who had to leave, he mentioned how every time this comes up, the Horsham Downs Road bus stops and Hayes Paddock safety zone, but there's nothing wrong with that there. So these are just excuses. I think the conspiracy theories keep turning out to be real. So the agenda behind it all, I think we all know, and that we are just getting told excuses.
Right. Before the last person disappears, hands up the people who have stopped paying their rates. Will you please join these people? That's what counts. Money. You can do whatever you like. You can try and take over the government. Stop! Stop! Right, my last bit.
Right, I just want to wrap it up now. But please, this was an attempt to get we the people to be able to talk to councillors. And when we do that, we must remain civil in the way that we approach that. What I'm trying to do is to have regular meetings like this with councillors, and if they are treated in the way that we were treated early on tonight, then there's just going to be a rift between us all. What we have to do, and what we as the Ratepayers Association are trying to do, is to keep communication between the people of Hamilton and its councillors. Now, I would hope that the next meeting we have, we respect that and we respect the conversations that we're having. Thank you for coming. I will hope that you've learned something tonight. I'm not sure we've learned what we wanted to do in the first place. But can I finish with the chap here just want to ask one question?
Ron White. I'm from Victoria, Australia. Things are happening there just like it's happening here. Now, if you go home and look at your rates invoice, you'll see in times past it was written democracy, 1.4%. Now it says governance, 1.4%. That's what it is.
Thank you. Sue?